So Midori recently came out with the smaller size of index clips, and I thought I would share how these compare to the current size that is available. These right now, it seems like, at least in the US, they're only available for pre-order, but Tokyo Pen Shop does currently sell them, and one of my friends was making an order and got one for me, so he could qualify for the free shipping. But let's see. So I personally love these since I have them. So this is their current size. And I even have like two here. But I love them because of the fact that they work well with the hobonichi paper because it's very thin, but it holds on really well. But it also does work with like thicker paper, like from like a leuchttrum notebook. Especially for me, it's really great since I move these two from month to month or week to week. So I'm moving these constantly. And the thing is that with something like a sticky tab is eventually it'll lose its stickiness. And while I use these to make these tabs, I usually don't move them that often. So they're not losing their stickiness. However, if I were to make one for like this month or like this week, I would eventually, at least for this week, for sure, I would need to make a new one. This month might last, but the nice thing is you can move these as many times as you want and they won't lose their stickiness since they're just attached to the paper differently. And I personally don't find that it chews up my paper, but maybe if like you have something that like is hitting these a lot. But as you can see, these are like flush with the cover, so you shouldn't be, but maybe with like other notebooks. But let me show you a close-up of how they compare. So it's obviously shorter in like width, but it's also a little bit shorter in like length, as you can see, which is really great if this was a little bit like it came out like too much from the page. I also think this could be really good for some smaller planners like a pocket leuchttrum where you don't have as much real estate, or a passport traveler's notebook where same thing, you don't have as much and it can get kind of cluttered pretty quickly. So these would allow you to have just as many tabs, but for them to just be a little bit more low profile, where you can also fit more. I could also see this working in like larger notebooks. For example, like the Hobonichi Cousin, which has daily pages in the back, where on the side you can see the color changes, but you could put like one of these on the side to mark where the start of each month is, because I believe these are too big to fit 12 on the side. But I think the small size would work for like any notebooks, to be honest, but I think this will really be ideal for those smaller types. And I know I personally am really excited to use this in my 2026 Hobonichi Week setup once I do set that up. But I might honestly start using them in my current planner and notebooks right away, since I just can't get over how dang cute these are on this like little miniature size. So I have some happy mail from Baumkuchen that I wanted to share with you, since I always adore their packaging. It even comes with this little cute little like, I don't know, piece of card. But I made an order to get another yuruliku flat pen case. So if you've seen my videos, you'll know that I already have this small one, which I adore. I got this back in 2023, I believe. But I've been wanting something a little bit bigger recently. since I like to keep the amount of stationery out on my desk pretty minimal. Besides the notebooks I'm currently using, this pen case, and my Delphonics S, which it, as you can see, gets the smallest little bit of like hair and lint attached to it really easily. But I've just been wanting something to keep everything in one place, specifically like my main tools. So I decided to pick up their larger size. And honestly, I adore this product. It looks, in my opinion, pretty new. Like, I wouldn't think I've been using this consistently for 2 years, where I am using it every single day to hold all of my pens. Plus, these are made with really good, like this like canvas material. Same with like the zipper. It's not like the colors can like rubbing off. I think it's very similar to the one from the Hobonichi handwrite cover, in my opinion. I like the brass color, since I am more of a silver person, so I'd rather this be brass than like true like gold. But again, the quality is just so good that I know that I will be back to this size. It's just, in the moment, I am wanting something a little bit bigger. So let's see if this opens easily. Okay, so crinkle warning. Oh wow. So there is a slight color differentiation, so that might be a little bit of just like the use. But honestly, do not mind. But this is like the size difference, so it's a little bit bigger, but not enormous. So let me also remove this. But this is how you spell yuruliku, if you are wondering. And I know other stores carry this, but sometimes they are really popular, so they don't always have every size available. I don't remember getting this in the first one. But yeah, it's called the flat tool case in the iron black. I like this color a lot. But essentially, you have this place to hold all of your pens, and then you have this flap where you can put whatever you want. And I think, like for example, I have a leuchttrum notebook that I could put here. It's supposed to fit a Hobonichi Weeks cover, a standard edition, which it does. Wow. I thought for a second it wouldn't, but that's good to know, since I will be using a standard edition for 2026. So if I wanted to, I could put my cover in here and have some pens. It does also fit the Tombow markers, and it closes properly, because with the small one, you can fit it, it just won't fully close. So, or at least like you have to have like not that much in it, and you kind of can notice like where it is. And I don't really use Tomos. I only have this one and this like green one, but I am considering maybe using them again in my planner for next year. So I wanted something that could hold them, as well as just like hold all of like my pens and pencils. So let's get everything over just to see. So that's how many it fits on this side. So I will just essentially pick what I still want. I have this. I also liked it because if I wanted to, I could always fit my scissors, because here, if I try to put my scissors, it kind of takes up all of the room. Well, here, like I could easily move a bit to slide my scissors. I would just kind of have to like move it around to see like how exactly, or I could even have it like this and put an X-Acto knife and eraser in here. Here I have my little sticker book that I could put in here. I could also, here I have a Kikuyu dot liner. Let's do a washi tape and this bag of paper clips and stuff. So see, like I can fit a lot of different things in with this space, which is really nice, because based on what I need, I can just fill this up and keep all of the like extras in here. Like I will keep like some of my extra pens that I occasionally need. So I can just switch it out based on what I want close by. I can also put like papers, like, or here, like I have like a bunch of little bits of papers that I can put, since it's nice and like flat. But overall, I'm just really excited to get to play around with this and fill it up with what I need, and just having this out with my slanted shelf. If you've seen my stationery collection, I show a little bit of my desk, and I have a slanted shelf that has all of the notebooks that I'm currently using. So it's really going to be this and that, but honestly, I usually I mainly reach for my Hobonichi Weeks planner every day, so it would mainly be these two, and an occasional on the weekend having everything out. But I'm hoping that this video helps just share a new stationery goodie, but also maybe some who have been wondering about the two different sizes and how they compare. But overall, I adore this my small version, and I'm really excited to use this one and just get to experience a new size, but still have this ready to go for when I'm looking to get that smaller size again. Then this is kind of a comparison to the cover compared to this one. It's a little bit more true to the size. Okay, so now that I have actually taken some time to see what stationery items I'm using frequently, I wanted to share what I will be keeping in my yuruliku flat tool case. So as a reminder, this is the iron black color that I purchased from Baumkuchen. I think I'm saying that right, but correct me if I'm wrong. But so this is what it looks like opened up. So as I tend to usually have my Pilot vanishing point in extra fine on whatever pen loop I have my planner in, it does not have a spot in here, but let's start. So we have my Pilot vanishing point in fine. Both my fountain pens are filled with platinum carbon black ink. We have a Sharpie ultra fine pen, or retractable pen. This is really good for writing on like transparent flags. I'll show you. We have my Uni Alpha Gel Mechanical Pencil in 0.5. The Hobonichi 2024 Uni Jetstream. This is my favorite colorway. I absolutely adore this. And since I do prefer this colorway over the one for 2026, this will be staying with me. I think I'll send the 2026 one with me at work at this point, since I haven't really used it, or it might just be like an extra pen I have in case I need another one, because I will say these are probably my favorite non-fountain pen. Then I have two Staedtler pigment liners. I have the 0.5 and the 0.05. I love these, and I have them in a few other sizes, but these are currently what I need. I usually just need a thin one and a little bit thicker one. I really like writing notes with like two different sizes. Then I have a Papermate Inkjoy gel pen in 0.5. This is again just if I need to write some notes. I like pens that are like really black. And then if I can get it out, I have the Tomo Mono Stick eraser. This is really nice for if you have like what is it called? Little small things that you have to like erase. Plus I find that holding this as a pen, if I have to erase something on the Hobonichi paper, it doesn't tear as easily as like the eraser, I don't know, like cubes or like rectangles. Plus it's really easy to hold in a pencil case. I do have a little pair of tweezers for my stickers. I have these Recollections mini scissors. And then I have a little Muji ruler. And I really like how this one does extend, but it fits in this case really nicely. Now for the flap. I first have a Kikuyu dot liner. This is removable, or like the removable sticky one. I adore this. I have my sticker book. This is a, I did a little Frankenstein, or I don't know how to call it, but I removed the cover of the sticker book and just replaced it with a different cover. These are Midori sticky notes. Oh, and I forgot to say, this is Traveler's Company. We have Post-it brand flags. So this is where I love to use this Sharpie pen, because otherwise everything else just doesn't, like it will rub off on everything or it just doesn't write properly. And then I have, so photos for my October vision board that were like extras. I need to get rid of. These are Megan Rhiannon icons, and little mini book reviews that I have here. But I really like how this all fits really nicely in here, and I still could probably have or fit a little bit more, but it's just nice that I can just have these two things with me on the go. But that's what I'm currently having here. And I'm sure if something drastically changes, I'll share some kind of video or update like this. But you'll also probably see this more in my upcoming like monthly videos, where you can kind of observe some of the smaller changes that I make. Now that I am going back to work in the corporate world, I will be needing a work planner for my system. So unlike my schoolwork for my master's degree, where I'm okay with keeping that in my Hobonichi Weeks planner, that's my personal planner for work, I do like to keep it separate from my personal planner. I just know that work can sometimes be stressful and just, you know, overwhelming at times. And I like to have some work-life separation just to make sure I'm not really thinking about work on my time off. And I was able to get a hobonichi cousin avec since they were on sale, since, you know, there's only 3 months left now that you can use this notebook. But I mainly wanted this for the weekly layout. So while there is a monthly layout where I think I'm just going to keep some high level information, but this isn't the main page I'll be looking at. And there are daily pages where it's just going to be a place to scribble messy notes just on the go. The key part, or the key reason I wanted this book, is for the weekly layout. So the Hobonichi Cousin weekly layout, there are 7 columns, 1 for each day, and it's a 24-hour vertical column. I don't know what to call it. But essentially the way I intend to use this is to have this open on my work desk and give me a full picture of the week. And I want to divide this up in a few different ways, which let me pull up my planner. So essentially, I plan to use this kind of middle part of the planner, which is this, to track my meetings. I want to be able to flip through this and be able to see, like, oh, on Monday I had a meeting at 10 a.m. This was the meeting. This was what it was about. And essentially just use that. The top part, which is like this 5 to 7 a.m. portion, will just be any big things that are happening that day that are really the focus. So like maybe it's a company holiday, PTO, sick days, maybe somebody's out of office from my team, maybe there's a big meeting, something like that. The space below, I'm thinking about using the 2 spaces below Monday to Friday different ways. So one, I'd like to keep track of one-on-one meetings with my manager, like those kinds of notes of stuff I want to talk to them about, but things that they also wanted to talk to me about. Just to remember what we had last discussed, to know, even if to make it easier for following meetings, and just to remember, oh yeah, that's I had talked to them to this about this that week. And then I also think this could be a good space to write down some project focused notes or tasks, as well as maybe like reference info, like especially in the beginning, I'm going to have a lot of info like sick policies or PTO policies, like that kind of information. That'll be really easy to keep on hand rather than trying to remember where that information is kept. And then this column right here is going to be for essentially a weekly task list. Since I do not work on Saturdays and Sundays, this will be really nice to just have a long list that I can just add stuff as things come up and mark them off once they are complete. And in my planner, I did also add a few extra notes for how, like here I have like a list of reference info that I know I'm going to want to write down, that just those initial weeks where I might have less information to document, I can use those extra pages or extra free spots to document that information. And I'm just really excited to just have a blank layout to just customize as I want. And just have this essentially be the main thing I am looking at to tell what was going on that week, without having to look at my Outlook, look at Microsoft Word documents, especially when with Outlook, a lot of companies, sometimes they only retain that information for like 6 months or like a year. And sometimes it's really nice to be able to look back on when did a meeting happen, or like how much time occurred between two meetings, since I am in project management, and sometimes that information is really useful. And now looking at my pen case. So this is what I currently have in here. So this is a Smart Fit pen case. I don't actually know the size, but this is in comparison to the Hobonichi cousin. So I do have the matte Pilot Vanishing Point in extra fine. So I took this out since I haven't been using it, since this is tow mirror paper. So I plan to use that. I also have a Jetstream Hobonichi branded multi-pen, since this is probably my favorite like go-to pen, and I know it works well with the Hobonichi paper. So if on the daily pages I just want something like really quick to scribble with, this will be it. I also have a few micron pigment liners. I prefer I think it's the Staedtler ones, so I'm just trying to use these up. Since they do last long, I just find that the nibs aren't as sturdy, like especially like the thinner ones. They bend really a lot faster. But I have one in 005, 03, and 05. Then I have a Uni Alpha Gel Mechanical Pencil in 05. This Staples Sonics gel pen, I think it's a 0.7. A Papermate Inkjoy in 07. These two Pentel Brushline pen in gray and black. And a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen in gray. This is for if I want to brush pen things. Then I have some little Kokuyo sticky notes. I really like the small ones since they fit really nicely in the weekly planner without like taking up like the whole space. And then I have a few scripts from Randy.plans from when I was working before. So it's day off, sick day, payday this week, and another payday. Oh, and then I also have, I forgot about this, some Muji task sticky notes. So. But essentially these are just some of my old work planner supplies that I took out. But I really like this case since it's pretty compact, and essentially this will be what I'll be taking to work with me to make sure I am productive and for like future reference information. Well, I switched my reading notebooks to a new system. I essentially decided to move from using my standard TN inserts, where I tracked reading related things, to pocket leuchttrum notebooks. So after discovering back in, I think it was May, that I could do some journaling in a blank pocket leuchttrum and just essentially use like I don't know where I have like a grid essentially that I place behind this paper to make sure that I'm writing straight lines and 4mm spacing. This really just changed how I thought about leuchttrum notebooks. And it made me realize that, oh, okay, so I can actually use pocket leuchttrums as long as they are the blank version and just use a grid behind it, just because the 5mm grid that leuchttrum notebooks currently have are just too large for my handwriting, and trying to fit my handwriting, like writing 2 lines per 5mm space is just really tight, and it cramps up my hand a lot quicker. But essentially, the more that I just journaled in this, the more I just forgot how much I love the leuchttrum paper. It's really nice to write on, even with my Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen and ink. And it's just so compact, and it lays flat. Like, no matter where you're at, it lays like completely flat really easily without having to really hold a clip, which makes it just so nice. And during the spring and summer, I had added a fanfiction log insert and a reading journal insert, which I really enjoyed, but it made this really thick. I've removed them, so it's just my 2025 reading log, but it got really bulky. I also had to use a band since there's only 2 strings, which that part was fine, but I found it was just really thick, which made it really difficult to lay somewhat flat, which really affected my writing experience, since I think it was near the end of summer. I was just getting to a point where I had to take out the insert anytime I wanted to write in it, just because it was just so hard to write, especially like in the spine. Like, I couldn't like write properly since it was kind of like at this type of angle, which might have been okay if I was just using the 2 strings in the notebook, but because I had the jump bands, it just was a lot more complicated to remove an insert. And due to this, I just found myself putting off filling these notebooks, which is not good, since I knew how stressful it would be if I had to catch up, especially with my current workload right now. So then I thought about, what if I move this system of just the system of tracking and journaling about reading into their own separate leuchttrum notebooks. So it would still feel like a set, because that's one of the things I loved about this, was I could have all 3 of my inserts in one thing, so they all felt like a set, like connected. But at least this way I could have a better user experience, since they all laid flat and I just needed to pull one of these off the shelf, essentially. Like, I didn't have to do any maneuvering, and plus, like, if I just wanted to work on 2 of them, I could just take those with me, versus having to just deal with the strings. Now this is new, since I mainly just decorated the cover. Oh wait, this is where I kept it, the grid that I made. But yeah, so since this is new, I just decorated the covers and the spines, and I really love how they all look together. But so with these 2, I'm essentially just jumping in right away. I will be backlogging my fanfiction log, since I only have a few that date back from July. But my reading journal, I will just be starting this October and go on, since I don't really mind to not have what I currently have journaled this year. And for my reading log, I will be sticking with my 2025 reading log until the end of the year, because I just want to make sure I just have everything in one book, and I don't want to backlog any of this. This is way too much handwriting. And I do really like this insert itself, but I am excited to be able to make some small tweaks to what essentially has just been like little things that have annoyed me a little bit, or just I've noticed that, it would be better if I could do this, and make those changes once I move in to my 2026 reading log. But since these are just really decorated, I am thinking of trying to do maybe like a separate 2026 reading log video, just to like actually share a flip through the pages and what I have updated since I do plan to make some changes, and right now they're all blank, so there's not really much to show. So if you're interested in that or have any questions about these, definitely let me know, since I'll keep those for when I do eventually film that notebook and actually get a chance to use these. So, but overall, I'm just feeling really relieved with this change, since I'm just so much more excited to touch these notebooks, and I'm really ready to hit 2026 so I can jump into using this for my reading log.